I still remember the way the room went silent. The sound of champagne glasses stilled mid-air. My mother's hand froze on her pearl necklace, and my sister, radiant in white, gripped the mic with trembling excitement, saying, "I'm marrying the love of her life." He chose me instead. All eyes turned toward me, the her in question. I smiled, a small, controlled curve of my lips. Then I stood, adjusted my shawl, and said softly, "Then I wish you both happiness." The air cracked like glass. I left before anyone could see the tremor in my hands. It started 2 years ago. Daniel was my everything, the quiet, loyal kind of man who listened more than he spoke. My sister Mira adored him too, in the way siblings sometimes admire what isn't theirs. She'd joke, "If you ever mess it up, I'll steal them." I thought it was harmless. Sisters say things. Lovers laugh. And I trusted both until trust became the knife they shared. The shift was small at first. Daniel's phone was always face down. Mira stopped coming by unless I wasn't home. He'd smell faintly of her jasmine perfume, said he'd walked through her room to feed the cat. It's strange how betrayal doesn't scream. It whispers, and I heard every one of its syllables. The proof came quietly one night, a message meant for her sent to me by mistake. "Can't wait till she's out of the picture." I hate pretending. I didn't cry. I didn't confront. Instead, I started writing things down. Dates, bank transfers, business deals, his passwords. He'd given me access once when love still meant trust. I backed up everything, every lie, every photo, every detail. Then I waited. Mira's engagement was announced 6 months later to someone special she'd been seeing. Daniel avoided my eyes the entire night. That was confirmation enough. People think revenge is loud. It isn't. It's patient, precise, a scalpel, not a sword. First, I ended our joint investments quietly, transferring funds to a shell company under my name. He didn't notice. Second, I resigned from our shared firm, the one I had built, after moving all the intellectual property rights to a private trust. Third, I left him a gift. A partnership agreement with clauses he'd never read carefully. It made him liable for every debt he thought I shared. He thought he'd replaced me. He had no idea I'd already erased him. The wedding was my curtain call. Mira wore my necklace. The one Daniel once said reminded him of me. She looked at me as if victory had a face. I gave her one back, calm, unreadable, final. When they kissed, I clapped first, louder than anyone, because that was the sound of my ending and their beginning of hell. On their honeymoon, everything unraveled. Daniel's accounts were frozen. Routine fraud check, the bank claimed. The company he thought was thriving was gone. Ownership redirected. And Mira's dream villa, the one I helped her lease under Daniel's name, was suddenly up for repossession. They called me. Of course they did. Mira's voice cracked through the phone. "What did you do?" I almost pitied her. Almost. "Nothing you didn't teach me," I said. Then I hung up. Days later, I received a message from Daniel. One line, he found out who took his place. I laughed. He finally understood that I'd never been the one replaced. He had people ask if I regret it, if I miss them. I don't, because I learned something important in the quiet after the chaos. Closure isn't a conversation. It's a choice. I chose silence at that wedding, not because I was weak, but because silence was the sound of control. Let them believe they won. Let them marry their guilt. I don't need to destroy people. They destroy themselves once they realize what they lost. When Mira returned, she tried to confront me. She looked smaller, worn out. The light in her eyes dimmed. "You planned this," she said, half whisper, half accusation. I looked at her, my sister, my betrayer, my mirror. "No," I said softly. "You did, because every step of your downfall began with a choice you made. I just handed you the mirror to watch it happen. Now I live quietly. New city, new name. I still keep the wedding photo, not out of sentiment, but as proof of what silence can do. In that photo, Mira's smiling, Daniel's holding her hand, and me. I'm in the background smiling too. People see peace, but I know better. That was the moment I stopped being the victim and became the story they'll never stop telling. Because sometimes the best revenge is simply letting them live long enough to realize who they really married.